Whoa!
right
What are you
there
talking
from
about?
different areas.
Four? What are you talking about? You're saying, what are you trying to say?
Patrick Roy.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Targeting Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Boys, how are we doing this week?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Glad to hear. All right, we'll just get right into it, I guess. Player of the week, Justin, I know wants to go first. He was antsy, so Justin.
Yeah, I definitely do want to go first. And just Jason fucking Tatum. My goodness, it is his world, and we're just living in it, especially up here in the Northeast. Man, he is unbelievable. He just goes into these zones where he's literally not human. It's so fun to watch him. And he had 53 last night in a huge overtime win against the Timberwolves. Man, he was ridiculous. Great to see. And he averaged 38-4 this week, and we went 3-1. So 3-1 is a good week for the Celtics this season for sure. So I'll take that. Just a great job by Tatum being just a leader and a ridiculous scorer at times. Man, he was so hot.
You think the trend will continue throughout the season?
I don't know, man. We haven't had Fournier through this little stretch here, this little 3-1 streak.
He had a great start, huh?
He had a bad start, but then a ridiculously hot start. It was weird for Fournier coming, but I don't know. I do feel like the Celtics have turned some sort of corner. They look better. We're moving the ball more. Our assist numbers have been up throughout this little stint here. And I feel like everybody's celebrating in each other's successes more right now. They're just happier to see guys. Everybody's smiling more. It just seems to be better vibes in Boston, which is good to see. If we
finish off the season strong and things come into our favor, we could the highest seed we could snag, potentially seeing
it's 4.
It's 4, which is still not bad.
I would be so happy to get the 4.
Seeing how we, went through this season, I would even be happy if we could just get ahead of the Heat and the Hawks. Like the Hornets
just don't give me a 7 or 8 if they can do the play.
Don't get a play-in. That's kind of my
thing. Which, by the way,
just give me a 5 seed.
I think I had misspoke about it a couple of podcasts ago because the rules, in detail, more just came out this week, I think. But it's not a best 2 out of 3 series for the play-ins for 7 and 10 and 8 and 9. What they do is it's single elimination games, and the 7 and 8 seed play. The winner of that gets the 7 seed. Yeah. Then the 9 and 10 seed play, and the winner of the 9 and 10 seed plays the loser of the 7-8 game. So then, then that team gets the 8 seed. So basically, if you're the 8 seed right now, if you have to play a single elimination with the 7 and 8, and you lose it, the team that won, whoever was the 7, gets to keep the 7. But this 8 team isn't out; they get another chance to play the winner of 9-10.
So it's 7. So it's 7-8 plays 9-10, not 7-10 plays 8-9, and then 7-10. Sorry, 7 plays 10 and 8 plays 9.
It's not that. So it's 7 plays 8, 9 plays 10, and then the winner of 9 and 10 plays the loser of 7 and 8.
And it is single elimination.
It's single elimination, which is crazy. So literally, please God, as a Celtics fan, please, we cannot be in that situation. We will lose a single elimination game. I feel like we can't be having our season come down to that. So I hope we can get a top 6 seed. That's all.
I'll say right now we have the hardest road ahead right now. Looking at the games ahead of time, we got to play the Bulls twice, who are on the verge of snagging an 8 seed. And honestly, if you lose to the Bulls twice and they get the 8 seed, that hurts us. We have to beat the Knicks, who are a game or 2 off of us. We play them once. Then we end up having to play the Hornets twice within a 3-game span. And then we have to play the Heat twice. And the Hornets and the Heat are the 2 teams that are ahead of us that if we lose to them both twice, they solidify their 5 and 4 seed essentially. And we're just screwed. And then not only that, but we have to beat the Timberwolves. We have to beat the Spurs, the Thunder. But other than those 3 games, I'll tell you right now, we're playing the Nets, we're playing the Lakers, we're playing the Suns, the Warriors, the Trailblazers twice. It's going to be tough. That is a tough lineup.
Tough. And we have thrown away already too many games. So we
against bad
teams.
Can't do more against bad teams. We can't.
We put ourselves in a position where we need to win all those big games. And I know looking back, I'm going into last night, it's Minnesota coming into Boston, the worst team in the league at the time. But let me tell you, watching that game, it did not feel like they were the worst team. I think we caught them at a bad time because they had D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, and Cat all healthy, which is rare for them. They're always, one of them is always out. So we caught them at a bad time, and they were really playing well last night too. It was fun to see all three of them play together. Actually, but
I think
big win.
I honestly, I'll be fine with. Oh no, I'm not going to be fine with it, but I'll be more okay with us losing to the Lakers, Nets, and the Suns. Those three teams, those three losses, I will accept as long as we play a good game and we finish strong and we don't just literally fucking lose by 30 points. Like if we play and finish a strong fourth quarter and we still lose, I'm happy. At the end of the day, we need to play those tough competition teams. But that isn't to say that I wouldn't want to win one of those games because that'll boost morale so much more. And not only that, but we need to fucking win these huge games. Like I need to stress it to like if I was in that locker room. Some of these games are so important, but this is one of those things where you need to go out every single day and play every single team as if every single team is the same. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like,
I think we still need that big game. We need to win a big game on a big night. Maybe we're on national TV. We're playing a top 3 seed team. We need a big win like that. I think earlier in the week, one of our wins this week was against the Knicks. That felt like a big win. The Knicks were our playoff team this year. That felt like a big win against a good team on a fairly big game. But we still need that because it seems like every time the Sixers come around or the Nets or the Bucks, we're losing those big games. And if you're going to be a playoff team, a threat in the playoffs,
I mean, I'll say right now, and we'll move on in a second, just giving a little highlight of the Celtics. But that game, last game, obviously I don't want to have to go to OT against the Timberwolves. I don't. But
no,
I don't
at the end of the day, like I said, I don't think we played bad. They just played really well yesterday.
They did, but we won the game. At the end of the day, number one, we won the game. And number two, Marcus Smart snagged almost 30 points. Jason Tatum was upwards in the 50s, 53, I believe. And then Jaylen Brown got 26 and Kemba got 17. Now, I will say I need Jaylen and no, not even Jaylen. Jaylen played a good game. I need Kemba to just snag me 20 at least. I need Kemba to get me like one more 3. I need him to get me a couple more points in there, but he's playing pretty good. He's fit. I think we're working well. I just really, really need the Celtics to just like mesh together. I just need that morale. I need that motivation. I need that team chemistry. Not that they don't have it, but this season has just been destructive in some cases against very bad teams who go out there and just pass the ball and play like they don't have anything to lose. Just like whatchamacallit, UCLA. You play like you don't have anything to lose.
Yeah, we get every team's best shots. They come into TD Garden, they're playing for a big win, and that's where we play every night. So it's easy. No, it's good to see the Celtics though. It does feel like we're getting closer every night to being a better and better team. So, but yeah, you want to run it with your player of the week, John?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Zach Levine, who snagged 50 points the other night and I think 8 boards. Just got to give respect to the Bulls. But, honestly, Bulls are having a good season. Zach Levine's having a good season. Bulls snagged a couple good players in that trade deadline we were talking about, a huge blockbusters. And I think the Bulls, honestly, will pull out the 8 seed probably. I won't be surprised. But I don't want to see it, honestly. Don't want the 2 games that they need against the Celtics to be like, I don't want to give them the 2 games. They can take any other games they want this season, but we need those 2.
We need those, yeah. Definitely. And I like that new look Bulls team, man, with Vucevic and Levine there, with Kobe White, Patrick Will.
Oh, yeah.
Team's kind of nice, man. That team is nice. But yeah, Zach with a hell of a game for sure.
Facts.
Yeah, I can give mine real quick. Mine was just on the MLB side. It was the Padres guy, Joe Musgrove, threw the first no-hitter.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, first no-hitter in San Diego Padres history. So if you read the ESPN article, that was interesting. Like apparently he was like originally like he had like a bad night of sleep the first night and then didn't really have he was like not he was like very sick, just not drinking water, and then finally just like loaded up on water, and then all of a sudden it's weird how those games go. Like they just all of a sudden find themselves in a position where they're like through 5 or 6 innings and they're like, oh shit, I don't have a hit on me yet. Like I would always think to me like, all right, I went through 1 inning without a hit, 2 innings without a hit, 3 innings. It's really not like that. They kind of just go through the regular motion and then through 5 or 6, they're like, oh man, I don't have any hits yet. So
I mean, throwing a no-hitter is arguably one of the harder things to do in any sport.
It is, for sure.
It's because it's a consistency thing. Like you have to throw such a low amount of pitches because you need to conserve your energy there, but you also need to make sure that they're accurate. You need to be throwing hard strikes. You need to be like getting the ball in there, putting good placement on it. It's just difficult.
For the most part,
they made an announcement about that no-hitter during an NBA game. I think it was Reggie Miller, because it was the same night. They're just like saying that it just happened. And Reggie Miller tried to compare throwing a no-hitter to hitting going 9 for 9 from 3. I'm thinking, no way are those two things comparable.
Going 9 for 9 from 3, I could do that more than I could.
No-hitter is so much harder.
I'm not, again, my abilities are not very strong, but I think I could make 9 threes before I could throw a no-hitter. Just gonna say.
I just thought that was weird. I'm like,
I think both are.
That makes no sense.
I think both are hard, but I think if you're an NBA player, I feel like you could always like train to do that. Like, I feel like that's not hard to like train. You know what I mean? Like, like to get 9 threes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's way harder because you're facing the same 9 guys in a lineup. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same 9, and with a 3, like, as long as you work on your 3-point game, there's really nothing, else you need to do. But like, you're facing different hitters every night, and it's the same 9 guys on that roster. So I don't know. Yeah, that's just that's just not the same thing.
I think it's very different. Again, you just can't compare. Like, you're using totally different strategies there. Like, 9 for 9 from the 3 is different than sitting on a mound for 9 innings straight and throwing that ball as perfectly as you can. You know what I mean? Just different for me.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
my roommate came in. That was my bad.
All good.
Now you're good. Now you're good. I'll just talk to him.
In other news, sort of early in the week, but it's somewhat old news. But we saw Baylor win a national championship, which is crazy to see, in a game where they just dominated defensively from minute 1 to minute freaking 40. That was a crazy game. Their defensive intensity, to me, is what stood out the most in that game.
I was not surprised that they beat Gonzaga. I wasn't.
It was a hell of a game, even though it wasn't all that close the whole time. It still felt like it was a really competitive, great game. It was a lot of fun to watch, but crazy win for Baylor.
I'm still a little disappointed because I wish UCLA made it, because I would have rather seen UCLA get ass wiped or not ass wiped.
We haven't had a podcast since the Final Four either. So that Jalen Suggs buzzer beater was ridiculous. Let me just say this. If
UCLA played Baylor.
Yeah, I saw it live, of course.
I did too. If UCLA beat Baylor, right, they win or lose, they are one of the first, of very few, if none, teams to be an 11 seed or below a 10 or an 8 and make it to the finals and make a run against 1 seeds, 2 seeds, 3 seeds, 7 seeds. No. It wasn't an 11 seed.
We all agree.
But look, if they're on paper, they're an 11 seed. That's how they're going to go down. I think the seedings this year were a little off, personally. But also, I would have rather seen, because I just think I knew Baylor was going to win against Gonzaga, and I probably would have known Baylor would have beat UCLA. But I would have rather seen a team like UCLA go out there and try and fucking win. And if they lose, they lose. That's just me, though. Because after seeing that Baylor-Gonzaga game, they dominated so fucking hard.
Right. But before we saw Baylor dominate Gonzaga, that was the game everybody wanted, though. From standing there at the round of 64, looking ahead, Gonzaga-Baylor was the 2 best teams.
Oh, no, it was. I had that in my bracket.
I'm glad we got to see it. And I think the better team won. I think I had Baylor winning my bracket, too.
I had Baylor.
But they were the best team in college basketball this year.
Sorry, Jerry had Michigan.
Jerry did. Yeah, he had Michigan. So.
Okay.
No, but I think the seedings were fucked this year. That was an ass
game. I'm going to say right now, that was an ass game. I did not like watching that game. It was hard to watch.
Baylor Gonzaga?
Yep.
Really? Okay.
And here's why. Baylor just ass wiped fucking Gonzaga. And like, there was no point during that game after like 5-10 minutes in where I was like, Gonzaga has a chance of winning this game. I know they came up, they got like under 10 a few times, but there was no point during that game after 5 minutes in where I was like, oh yeah, Gonzaga has a legitimate chance of coming back. They just don't. They've never faced a team like that Baylor team. That Baylor team just was
Taylor?
Just
I like Pales
scary.
too.
They
Pales
don't
Mitchell
make
was on the beach.
they didn't make any mistakes. I think their first turnover came like really late in the game, and then they didn't make a ton after that. That defense was incredible. Like there was just no easy shots for Gonzaga. Meanwhile, on the other end, like Baylor was getting shit tons of offensive rebounds. I was like, when is it going to stop? I just think like Gonzaga always does this. They always do it. And I was going to call it, but they look kind of good this year.
Gonzaga always ends up
They always get
joking.
a 1 or 2 seed, and then everyone's like, oh, watch out for Gonzaga. And then you forget the teams that are in the fucking WCC, whatever it is, like are not
they
good.
always choke.
They're not good. So I don't know. I was hoping again. I think if UCLA was in that game, I still think Baylor would have killed them.
I agree. I agree.
It was hard to get anything off that defense.
No, I know that was incredible to see.
Again, we've discussed Baylor has just dominated teams they've played.
It was a hard game to watch because it was just I knew 5 minutes in, I'm like, Gonzaga's not coming out of
the number of times I've bet on Gonzaga winning in one of these tournaments and they always fuck it up is 1,000%.
But
by the way, just want to take a second to shout out John's mic setup with them. Is that new? That is nice.
Yes, sir. It's nice.
Is this the first episode with that, or have I just been?
Nah, there was the last episode with it. Nice and crisp.
Oh, okay.
This is your captain speaking.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Also, I'm sorry. I know we're on this topic, but I saw this earlier, and I'm gonna go a little bit off, off the deep end here. But I need to ask you guys one thing that the Score posted the other day about goats versus goats, whatever it was.
Oh, I think I saw something.
Can I just say, all right? First of all, I can go through the seedings right now and tell you who the matchups were. Now that we're on like this tournament kind of talk.
I know the 1 seeds. I mean, so really, it was kind of when I saw that it was kind of irrelevant. I'm like, all right, well, it's Wayne Gretzky, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan. Like those are the 3 that are going to be in the final 3.
Whoa, watch this! You ready for this? I'll tell you exactly what happened. Yeah. And again, we're biased a little bit, being a Boston sports fan, but I think it's wrong personally. But you had Michael Jordan versus Mario Lemieux. You had Serena Williams versus Tiger Woods. You had Tom Brady versus Usain Bolt. You had Muhammad Ali versus Lisa Leslie, who I'm assuming is a basketball player in the WNBA. But I don't know. Then on the other side, we got Messi and Ronaldo. We had Roger Federer and Michael Phelps. We had Wayne Gretzky and Mia Hamm. And then we had LeBron James and Babe Ruth. All right, so I'm going to go through now. Michael Jordan versus Mario Lemieux. I respect Mario so much, but there's just no contending.
Whoa. Are we going through all these matchups?
Just real, they already finished it. It's just quick.
Oh, they did? Okay.
But Mario Lemieux, controversial stuff comes in the next round. Don't worry.
Okay.
But we had Michael Jordan beating out
Mario Lemieux. Why is LeBron
Lemieux.
on the list?
Why is LeBron on the list?
Not on the list. Is he not on the
list?
He
is. LeBron versus Babe Ruth.
Oh, I didn't see the other side. Sorry.
So then you had Michael Jordan winning that matchup. You had Serena Williams, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods wins that one. That's a tough one. But Tom Brady, Usain Bolt. I mean, Tom fucking Brady. Sorry, Usain Bolt, but anybody can run. And then you got Muhammad Ali, who clearly wins because I don't know who Lisa Leslie is. And then you have Messi versus Ronaldo. Now, I'm Portuguese, so I find this a little disrespectful that Messi won this one, but fuck that. And then you have Federer and Phelps. I mean, Phelps does have the longest putt, and he also has 20-something medals that are just gold, not even including his silvers and bronze. So, yeah, Michael Phelps definitely is the most decorated sports athlete, for sure, 100%. Yeah, and then you got Wayne Gretzky, Mia Hamm, Wayne fucking Gretzky, and then LeBron, Babe Ruth. Now, it's LeBron, but also I just feel like they kind of threw Babe Ruth in there and disrespected him a little bit, against LeBron. It's a little tough.
Yeah,
it's a little tough. But then we have Wayne Gretzky, Michael Phelps. I mean, that's tough in itself because
No, it's not.
It's
Wayne. All right, it's Wayne. I know. I would vote Wayne. But also, I mean, I feel like I got to shout Michael Phelps out. I mean, the man is just an absolute beast.
He is.
In that pool.
He is a beast.
And then here's the problem that I get into. Michael Jordan, Tom Brady.
Tom.
Nope, Michael Jordan won.
That's tough.
That's some bullshit. And then it would have been, so Michael Jordan, Wayne, and Wayne won. I think that's easy. Because Wayne leads in
Wayne
every
won
category.
over MJ?
Yeah.
No, it's the final.
No, Wayne won.
Oh, Wayne did.
Wayne won the whole thing?
Yeah, Wayne won the whole thing.
Shit. That's
agree
a nice surprise.
I agree with
like
that because he leads every category and every single record in hockey.
That is a nice surprise.
MJ doesn't.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think they have exactly the same amount of championships, or maybe I think Wayne's got 4?
No, I think Wayne has 4, yeah.
And MJ's got 6. What is it? 6, yeah.
Yeah.
But then Tom, I mean, if it was Tom Gretzky, I'll be honest with you. I know I'm biased, but honestly, I think I would have gone Tom over Gretzky. That's a tough one, though. But also, it's just because I feel like the different styles of games.
I have a question for you guys. Why is the disparity in hockey, like, so great?
What do you mean? Explain.
Like, Gretzky holds all the records. Like, every single.
Do you want to know why?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know why.
Well, first of all, when Wayne Gretzky played hockey, he played with a wooden stick that had no curve to it. So first of all, the fact that he has all those records. Oh no, it was hockey.
No. This was real hockey. Exactly like it is today. Just an older style, the same way as any other sport as an older style. And Wayne Gretzky literally could have not scored a goal ever and still lead at the all of NHL history in points if he never scored a goal. Just on assists alone.
I know that. I know that stat.
So I'm saying, why is it? It's because this guy is literally the greatest to ever touch a stick, and he is so much more of a GOAT in his sport than any other GOAT is compared to.
Now, also, sport. Jerry, Wayne Gretzky. It's that simple.
Just
remember this.
But if Wayne Gretzky, if the sport doesn't produce, like, is it because? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, I don't know.
If the sport doesn't produce, what are you saying?
Yeah, what are you saying?
That great players.
Great players? What are you talking about?
Like, how many good NHL players are there in the league compared
Alex
to
Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Mario Lemieux.
A ton of great NHL players.
Whoa!
What are you talking about? 4? What are you talking about? You're saying, what are you trying to say?
Patrick Roy.
You guys are
Jerry Cheevers.
You guys are just
Bobby Orr.
No. I'm
Ray Bourque.
I'm just genuinely curious though. Like you're saying
Phil Esposito.
Here's what I'm
NHL players being produced today.
Here's what I'm saying, right? To me, in a sport, if someone has that much disparity over somebody else, either like it's different eras and they can't be compared, which you guys are. I'm assuming you're saying it can.
It's not because they don't produce good players.
Yeah, it can't
Wayne
be
Gretzky. I'll tell you right now. When Wayne Gretzky played in youth hockey,
wait a minute. You didn't answer my question.
All right, then ask the fucking question. You keep stopping at produce. You just don't finish your fucking sentence.
I know.
I want to hear what you have to say. Let's go.
Come on, let's go.
I asked you a question. So are you saying that the Wayne Gretzky era of hockey and the current era of hockey can be compared?
Cannot.
They can. Okay. That cannot.
Extremely different.
Okay.
Extremely different.
Okay.
Because in Wayne Gretzky's era, no one could even lift the puck off the ice.
Well, no, it's if you look at like goalies back then,
because they had a flat stick.
Smaller, they're not as athletic. Like now, the pads, like a goalie in net covers up like 98% of the net nowadays. Where back then they were much thinner, smaller. The pads were much smaller. It was just it was just easier to score.
And also, Wayne Gretzky was
also. Shouldn't there be like an asterisk there? Like,
no, but that's not. It's not. It wasn't easy. I mean, they're all playing on the same sheet of ice, and Wayne Gretzky was just that much better than all of them. All you can do is
Wayne Gretzky was that much better. Wayne Gretzky had a way of looking at the puck and looking at the ice and being able to make plays that very few people could make. Also, Wayne Gretzky, when he played youth hockey, had so many goals that parents would complain to the league to kick him out of youth hockey because he literally would score 10, 12 goals every night. And that's not because the game was easy. That's just because he was that fucking good.
Okay.
We got a lot. Half an hour in and we've talked about it's completely random. So it's cool though. I was not expecting to talk about any of this.
Anyway.
All right. Should we move on to like NBA stuff?
Yeah, NBA stuff, yeah.
All right. So this week ESPN put out a just ridiculous article. Top 25 players under 25 years old in the NBA. Ridiculous. Stephen A had a whole viral rant about how bad this list was. And the main problem with it is that, so number one, which I'm sure you can all imagine, is Luka, which that sounds right. That sounds right. They do go with Zion at 2, which we can get into Zion at 2 talking a bit. I don't know about that.
Disagree with
LaMelo Ball at 3 is the real issue that most people had this week about this. And I definitely have that same issue. I agree. That's absurd. LaMelo Ball. Here are some of the guys he's above. Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Ben Simmons, Devin Booker. These are guys that are much better than LaMelo Ball right now. And even if you're looking at their ceiling, I get you got to factor in potential, but like that is crazy.
Can I also say that LaMelo has been in the league for how long compared to some of these guys who have way more stats, way more games, and way more experience? So first of all, I understand that it's the potential. It's under 25. And I would certainly put him in the top 10. I'd honestly put him in the top 5 almost.
I mean, I haven't gone through it shot for shot, but I mean, I put him around 8 or 9. I'd say honestly right now, maybe 7 or maybe, but I haven't gone through it. But
I think you take LaMelo. I think you take LaMelo and Zion out of the 2 and 3 seed. You shift Donovan and Jason up. You bring Zion down to like the 5 or 6, and LaMelo goes down to like 7.
You know why ESPN did that? ESPN loves the Ball family.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, even Lonzo made the list.
I'm not shocked at all.
Lonzo's at 24.
How high they placed him. I don't think it's right, but ESPN loves pumping the whole Ball family.
I just love how Lonzo snuck in there too. I don't even think Lonzo
deserves to be on the list.
Well,
why Zion's at 2 as well.
I have a couple problems with this. Yeah. So I'll just say a couple of my problems, and then John.
Go ahead.
I can tell you right now what I.
So Zion at 2, I have a problem with that. I also think it's another ESPN thing where they're just like Zion Williamson. Look at his name, and it's like, all right, really, like if we're looking at stats here, what is Zion really doing that's worthy of the second top?
I mean, he's playing really, really great basketball.
He's playing great basketball, but
I get it. I'm not crazy mad about 2. I'm
not crazy mad about it, but I do have a slight bit of a problem. Second, why is Jaylen Brown 12th?
I don't think Shay
extremely low.
I don't think Shay Alexander is above him. I don't think De'Aaron Fox is above him.
Why is Ben Simmons above Jaylen Brown?
I'll say right now. The only ones that I think that deserve to be above Jaylen Brown, besides obviously, some of the bigger names that we talked about, is Devin Booker, maybe. Bam Adebayo, I would say, like that's pushing it. But
Jaylen Brown's better than Bam. He's better than Brandon Ingram. He's better than Shay.
I just have a big problem with Alexander and Bai being that high.
Where it gets close, I'd still take Jaylen over Ben Simmons, though, no doubt. So yeah, I'd put him probably 6 or 7, but that could be. I mean, we're definitely going to get called biased for that, but I mean, Jaylen Brown.
No! Look at his stats in the year.
Look at the numbers.
Look at his stats.
No, I know.
Can I say right now? I know why. I know why Zion and I know why LaMelo got the 2 and 3 seed. I can tell you right now. I know why they did. Because
Morant and Trae Young are 15, 16.
Yeah,
that's too low for both of them.
But can I tell you right now why I think it's 2 and 3 for those two? Because think about it. Every time you go on ESPN, every time you go on your phone, you look at Instagram, you look at Snapchat, you look at anything. What is it? Zion with a big dunk. LaMelo with an amazing pass behind the back. It's just that's been it all season. Jaylen hasn't been on the Sports Center and everything because Zion and LaMelo are these 2 big names. They buy into the Zion from Duke and they buy into the LaMelo from the Ball family. That's how they do it. That's just how they do it.
Yeah.
I know you said that, Jerry, but I just had to mention that.
I have a question for you guys. You're building a team. Are you taking Donovan or Zion?
Donovan. Easy.
Yeah.
I want a guy who
I'm definitely taking Donovan.
I want a guy who can pass, and I want a guy who has a good headspace on the court and can see the ball, can see his team.
If you're looking at who could even last in this league for like 5 or 10 years, like I don't know how you don't pick Donovan. Even if Donovan didn't.
Let me tell you, I've asked a couple other people that same question this week because it's just been on my mind with the comparison between those two, and I've heard a lot of Zion.
I'll tell you right now why I don't think
it's Zion. I would take Donovan.
I can tell you why it's not Zion because when you're like I compare Zion to Shaq. Now Shaq obviously was in the league for a while, but also that doesn't mean Shaq was amazing every single year. And Zion for me, he's a great player, but he's one of those guys where he's playing like he was what 275, almost 300 pounds. He's a big kid, all muscle. He's super fucking tall, but also just remember, you're playing on that court all day. Jerry probably has more experience with this, but if you're a big body like that, you're putting that much pressure on your bones, on your legs. You're playing on that court every fucking day. You're eventually gonna get injured like you did before that one time, and there's gonna come a time when you get injured so bad that it's tough to for your body to handle all that weight. And that's just not to say his physical weight, but also the weight that's on his shoulders that he has to produce. I mean, he went to Duke. We saw that whole year with Duke, in the, RJ Barrett team, and I feel like they fell short a little bit from most people's expectations.
And keep in mind, he's averaging 27, 7, and 4 right now. He's playing unbelievable.
No,
really,
I'm not saying he isn't.
I'm really not trying to knock on Zion.
I'm not.
I just mean,
but I just don't see his ability to last that long. Like, for example, it's just like in any sport, like guys that play in these positions where they have to get physical, they have to be there in the paint, they have to be there, running into the offensive line, anything. You're eventually going to get broken down. I mean, it's tough playing these sports at that level, and being that big, being that heavy, and also having all that weight and pressure on your shoulders, being listed as number 2 here. I mean, we have to remember, he's not like a fucking robot. Like, he's a human being. He probably has his own mental, mentality he's got to deal with, and all the pressure that his friends, his family give. I mean, I guarantee you, if you ask his friends and family, they say, oh yeah, Zion should deserve to be number 2, because they're biased. But hearing that from your family, I'm sure is going to put a lot of pressure on you. And again, you can go into this whole little psychology kind of thing about, all of this, but I'm not saying Zion doesn't deserve it, to be on this list and maybe in the top 10. I think that they're, and he is playing great fucking basketball. I just think that they took the name over a lot of other players whose points this year, averages, games played, the production they've done for their teams has been much better at a much higher level. And I feel like, Zion and his team, Zion's played well, his team's done but a lot of these players on this lineup, their team has done very well. They have done very well. Like you said, Trae Young and Ja Morant are very low. I mean, the Hawks aren't doing terrible, and Trae Young is super low. I mean, God, I'm just looking at this list. I mean,
it's hard to.
Even Anthony Edwards is a little low. Even Anthony Edwards is a little low for me.
Yeah,
it's hard to make these lists. So I give
for me to answer Justin's question, and then Justin, I want to hear your thoughts. When you ask the question, who do you want to build a team around? It's a lot different. That's not the same as like.
You're right. It's not the same.
It's right, who's your favorite player? Or who's the best player to have on your team? Not the same.
Not the same.
You're asking, who do you want on your team that will make everyone on your team a better player? And to me, Donovan Mitchell is the obvious answer. I don't know how you pick Zion. Not to discredit anything Zion's doing. I think Zion's a great player. I would love to have him on my team, but I'm not going to have him on my team as a basis for every single player around my team. I also think Donovan personally has a higher ceiling than Zion does. I think unless Zion can somehow become a perimeter player and, get a little faster, lose a little weight, I don't see him being a force for this long. But
yeah, I agree with you. You mentioned ceiling. I think, to me, Donovan Mitchell's ceiling could be Finals MVP. Honestly, that's how good I think Donovan is.
All right, I'm sorry. I really have to say this one, because this one's really pissing me off. This is really the biggest one that pisses me off on this lineup. Like, I don't even agree with, but Shay Alexander. It makes me want to punch someone for putting him above Jaylen Brown, and even that high, because first of all, Jaylen definitely, I'll check right now before I run my mouth, but I am biased, but
he's having a good season.
Jaylen Brown's averaging more than him. He's also, I think, playing slightly more minutes, and I just think that the effort that Jaylen brings onto the court, the mentality, the way he plays, the chemistry is just so much better. And I also just think, I don't know. I just look at Alexander and I just think, what is he doing for the team? Like, look at the team that he's on. What is he doing for the team? Like, what's special that he's doing on that team? Just tell me right now, off the top of your head.
He's definitely really nice. He's the franchise. He is their guy. He's their franchise player at the moment. He's the number one that they're building around.
He hasn't played since March 24th, I believe.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
So,
he has been injured.
So that kind of makes me want to just put him much lower than Jaylen, because Jaylen's been playing more games than he has. That's another thing that they don't take into account.
Over Jaylen Brown, or Ja Morant, or Trae Young, or Jamal Murray. I think those guys.
Now I know you're biased. He went to UK, but I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I just think when you look at,
I know.
I think he's having a legit season. I don't.
No, he is, but he just hasn't played in 15 games or something.
Yeah, but I think clearly this list is assuming the future
that they're playing. Right.
Yeah.
I know.
So it's not just current.
But I think Jaylen Brown has a higher
be a lot
ceiling. I
more
mean, if
good.
you have to pick which one you're taking, I would take Jaylen Brown. I know it's a little biased, but I would take a lot of guys over Alexander. I'll be honest on this list. Take a lot of guys.
Tell
The
you what,
thing I
Take
like
John
about-
Morant. I take John Morant over
The
Alexander.
thing I like about Alexander is he's very shifty and he likes to get to the rim, and I like that. I like that a lot. That's a great.
me too.
quality
He's
to
a
have.
good. He's just a good floor general. He's a good point guard. Good playmaker. Yeah,
Again, I don't know where
like
he
it.
falls on this list, but again, there's a lot of the problem.
There's a lot. I mean, we could switch any of these a couple spots. I mean, at
The
the end
main
of the day,
problem
it's
I
just
have
a list. But
Yeah, the main problem I probably have with the list is there's no specific criteria.
and isn't that always the problem with lists
So
like this?
what,
too?
like-
you can't.
like-
It's
They
hard to
don't-
make a list.
You can't just make a list without saying like these are the ones that have the most potential. Like you need to label because first of all,
Like
like
clearly, potential had almost everything to do with it. If LaMelo is at 3, so that's the
right.
I
But
mean,
I think you need to be a little more specific because first of all, if you're looking at potential, you got to take into consideration that some of these guys aren't playing a lot of their games right now. Some of these guys are at different, you know what I mean? Like you can't just say, oh, LaMelo's played 40 games. He's got more potential than Jason Tatum, who's played almost the entire season and has averaged so many fucking points per game. I just think you can't just, and I don't know. You just got to be a little more specific here. You got to say like, all right, we're going to not include the fact that some of these guys are injured and their experience, and we're just going to say who we think is shooting for the highest ceiling, period. But that's not what they said.
That or just make it like future. Obviously, it has to be future. If it's not,
Right. Or you're going to say how long they're going to last in the league with their potential ceiling, because clearly Zion is not going to last the longest in the league with his potential ceiling. Because, first of all, Zion could be in the league for the least amount of time than all these guys and still have one of the better careers. But that doesn't mean that he has the most potential.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between the longevity of your career versus also the impact you're making. You know what I mean? Like, LeBron has had both. He's been in the league for so long, and he's made an impact. Zion won't have that, in my opinion. A lot of these other guys might, not at LeBron's level, but you have to specify that because a lot of these guys are not going to be on this list in the next couple years because they'll fall off the map. They'll have injuries. They're going to just break down. Zion is not going to be in the league for for a long fucking amount of time.
You don't think all these guys are relevant in the next couple of years?
I
say next
yeah.
couple, I should be more specific. I'm talking about like 10 years down the road. I don't know which of these guys are still going to be on this level. I'll be honest.
I'm looking at all.
Can you
these
tell me?
guys,
Can you
and
tell
I
me with a
can't find one of them
confirmation
that
that you think in 10 years that some of these guys are going to be producing at the level they are right now? You can't.
Maybe
You don't know what'll happen.
What they are right now, but
What if they get injured, Jerry? What if they get traded and they go to a shitty team? I mean, I just can't tell you which of these guys. I can tell you which ones I think will go pretty far, but I can't tell you that all of these guys will.
I think all these guys have a legitimate chance of lasting 10 years in the league.
I don't. I'm not saying
You
they're not
also-
lasting.
you also-
Stop.
you
I'm not
also-
saying that they're not lasting 10 years in the league. I'm saying that I don't know if they're gonna. They could last 10 years in the league. That doesn't mean they're producing at the level they are right now and what they could. That's the difference here. I think that all these guys will be in the league in 10 years. I don't know if they're
10
going to.
years could be a stretch. I mean, there's some that maybe 10 is a little excessive.
I think Zion might be excessive a little bit
Although,
at some point.
no,
He's
I mean,
producing
no,
at a
no,
level.
No.
I think Zion is going to start.
Zion won't be around for a long, long time.
Yeah, but I don't
The way he shoots, the efficiency he shoots at, he'll be around forever shooting that efficiency. He's literally just shooting 70%. Like, that's ridiculous. He'll never be playing bad enough to be played out of the league.
Again, you never know.
Anyways,
one bad injury, one bad, I'm just saying, you don't know.
You can move on. Justin, why do you
move on? It's a good conversation. It's a bad list. End of story.
It is a bad list. Let's just agree with that. Let's just put it all aside and just say it's a bad fucking list.
But Justin, you want
on other NBA stuff this week. I don't know if you guys caught any of the big games week, but like Jazz played the Suns this week, which was the 1 and 2 teams in the entire league, the 1 and 2 best records, and that game went to overtime, and the Suns ended up winning. Mitchell had 41, and Book had 35, I think, and it was just an absolute duel. They were D'ing up each other too, which was cool to see. It was just a duel end to end, back and forth between the two of them. Super fun to watch. It makes you wish, like right after, it's like, man, I need a 7-game series of this. It was actually so fun to watch.
I would love
matchup.
to see Suns versus Jazz. I'll tell you right now, I would love to see that.
Yeah, dude. Donovan versus Booker with Ayton and Rudy down low. You got Chris Paul and Mike Conley. All of the matchups line up so great. It's like
I'll tell you right now what matchups I would like to see. I would love to see a Lakers Nuggets, and I would love to see a Jazz Suns. That's just me personally.
Yeah,
I just feel like I would love to see Jokic.
This was a hell of a game, and Donovan Mitchell just continues to show me that man just has that clutch factor, just like Jason Tatum does. Just like some of these great young guys. Devin Booker does have it too, but Donovan Mitchell on a different level, it almost feels like, because this guy, you just know it doesn't need to be a good look. All it needs to be is leaving his hands, and it's going down at certain times. He gets so red hot and just won't miss. He hit a three to force. They were down 3 inside 20 seconds, and he hit a 3 to force overtime. That was a tough off-bounce shot, but it was just cash.
All right, real quick too. That's another thing. Let me just state, and I don't think they took this into. I don't think they let this influence their decisions on that list. Just real quick, but I just was thinking of that. That's another thing. You got to look at the are they making this based off the team's record and the potential that player has, or is it just completely potential? I don't know if they specified that. I don't know if they may have included that. They didn't
specify the list. That's why we're saying that.
Right. No, I just wanted to say that's another important thing that I think you have to specify.
Yeah, how the team's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like if you want to include it, that's fine. But if you're not going to include it, you got to say that. Sorry, we can move on.
Yeah, but no, that game was exciting. I'm excited for the playoffs, especially for the Western Conference. That's going to be
too.
Very interesting. Even the play-in games, I feel like, are going to be very, very.
Oh, those are going to be hype as hell, dude. That's giving me like some March Madness stuff at the NBA level. Legit. Single elimination.
I don't know if the Eastern Conference will be as.
Dude, I actually don't know, man. The bottom of the East is getting exciting, dude. We'll have like Zach Levine and Vucevic and the Bulls, or like Beal and Westbrook and the Wizards, or like there'll be some interesting teams down there.
Wizards are, playing better, but
I don't know if I'm in the East, like we are, floating around that little bubble.
Yeah, don't say that the East is easy because the Celtics are struggling right now.
I would not want to be dancing.
I know. I'm just saying because it's a fight. It's a dog fight for those 7, 8, 6 seeds right now.
Agreed.
Yeah, but no, the Suns won 7 in a row, I think, and then they dropped one against the Clippers 2 nights ago. But they'd won 7 straight. They're all of a sudden the second best team in the league. So it's crazy. The 2 best teams in the league right now are either of them serious contenders? Who really knows? We'll have to see.
We'll see.
Again, this is one of those things.
The LA teams in Brooklyn and Milwaukee and Philly, those are we think of contending teams. But the 1 and 2 teams are from Phoenix and Utah.
We talked about this,
though. It's fun to see. It's a great league.
We did talk about this, though, is that the Jazz, I feel like, and I'm not saying that they're going to pull a Clippers here, but the Jazz and the Suns are having an unbelievable regular season. Now, the Lakers, obviously, lost LeBron and AD for a couple games here and there, but
they
still
don't have them. So,
and they still don't have. But the Lakers are a great ass team. They may not be the 1 or 2 seed, but that doesn't mean that the Lakers won't be able to produce in those playoff situations. And who knows? The Jazz and Suns may just be one of those Clippers teams that does well in the regular season and then just has a tough playoff season. And I'm not saying that'll be always, but they just have to develop that experience in these playoffs. I mean, how many times can you tell me that the Jazz and the Suns have been the 1 and 2 seed going up, with all this?
I believe it was like 1985 or something. They actually said
of course you fucking know that. No, but seriously, like, we just got to remember, like, same thing with the Nets. I mean, again, I think the Nets are pretty much a lock, but the Nets are also a team that has had a great regular season. But we all talked about this earlier in the season that we don't know if things may just fall apart. I don't think they will.
But those concerns are long gone for me now.
They're long gone. But I'm just saying.
I think they've added 7 or 8 superstars since we last talked.
But still, I just want to mention that we can't just I think Nets are pretty much the lock. But the West for me, I don't know what a lock is. Like, I couldn't tell you.
It's just going to be like Jerry said. It's going to be so fun to watch.
It will be. But we can move on to NHL news unless, Justin, you have any.
No. Yeah, let's do it.
So
NHL trade deadline's coming up real quick. So we got some trades.
We just got a huge amount of trades. We just got one 7 minutes ago.
I know.
3-way trade between Detroit, Tampa, and Columbus. So Tampa receives David Savard and Brian Lashoff. And Columbus ends up receiving a 2021 first-round pick, 2022 third, and Detroit gets a 2021 fourth-round pick. So Obviously,
Tough
Detroit.
news for Columbus hearing that Zach Werenski's out for the year now. That sucks for them. That sucks
is not
for them.
good. That is not good
there
for
goes
them.
their best defenseman.
I don't think they're going to be making it anyways. But then we have Brandon Montour going to Florida with a 3rd-round pick going to Buffalo. Again, some of these are just smaller name guys. I think the bigger one
I saw Devin Dubnyk got shipped out as well. Where
he's going to Colorado.
Colorado, that's right. Colorado.
So his worth was Greg Pattern. I don't know. I don't even know him off the top of my head. But then a 5th-round pick. So,
yeah, Dubnyk, he's getting up there too. And
he's getting up there, but I think Colorado just wants someone behind. What's his face, just in case.
But definitely the main trade was with the Islanders for sure. They made a big move.
Oh yeah, what was that one again? That was
that was Kyle Palmieri and Travis Zajac going to Long Island, which is a great pickup for the Islanders, who lost Anders Lee is out for the year. So great to see that they could get some other guys to come in and fill that void, because they're going to miss him. And the Islanders are playing really, really good hockey. Like they're definitely a scary team. The days of the Islanders being kind of like not a real threat as far as when it comes to playoff time, I think is behind us.
I think honestly really the Islanders won that trade because you got 2 guys that are experienced and I feel like needed to get out of the New Jersey area. And like Palmieri and Zajac had good seasons in the past. They just need to get out of there, in my opinion.
Yeah. And you see teams sitting at the top of the league. It's kind of a weird bunch. You got the Hurricanes, the Panthers, the Islanders. They're all floating around up there. But of those 3 teams, I could definitely see the Panthers come playoff time like not playing as good hockey as they are right now. But of those teams that are sitting up there right now, the Islanders are definitely the most.
I think the Panthers are having a good. I think the Panthers are having a good regular season. I just don't know if they're going to be a playoff team.
It always helps to have Bobrovsky in between the pipes. That guy.
That is a big thing that people forget. Is Bobrovsky is another big thing on just hockey news. I just saw this stat the other day. I'm not trying to take your stat, Justin, but Oilers versus the Senators this season. 9 wins. 9-0 and 0. So 9 wins. They haven't lost once. No OTs. Connor McDavid and Draisaitl have 21 points each. They have 41 goals for, 18 goals against.
Jesus.
That's in 9 games, too. 9 games, 41 goals. 41 goals in just 9 games. Holy fucking shit. And you give up 18?
That is ridiculous. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just don't. Wow. And then the other trade, smaller one, but Riley Nash went to Toronto.
Did he? I didn't even see that actually.
Not a bad player. I think I think Columbus is really just shitting the pipes right now. They had a lot of potential this season. They made some good moves, and now they're shitting the pipes. That's huge.
Brutal.
Werenski is definitely a easily top 10 for me defenseman, but
man, that sucks. That's bad news. Yeah, are we missing an NHL trade? I don't think so, actually. I think they went. That was for now. The deadline hasn't actually passed yet, so
yeah, the deadline hasn't passed, so we got a lot more to come up, obviously with
Yeah, I'll have to be wearing my
with the
my
NHL
Tatum jersey next week too, because I left it in Kentucky. I felt like I owed it to him to be repping a number 0.
Another one I want to shout out is obviously Cole.
I don't have it with me, so I'll be wearing it next episode.
You'll wear it next time. Cole Caufield, I want to shout him out for getting the Hobie Baker Award. It's a huge, It's a huge honor for him. The Canadians, he's had a good season, well deserved from him. But again, there's not much news in the NHL. Those were kind of the big ones. We're going to have, I think, more blockbuster trades. Hopefully, I would love to see that for the NHL.
Yeah, we'll still probably see Hoffman or Taylor Hall or some. We'll see other guys.
There are some guys that are going to be making. Yeah, so I'm excited for it.
Justin, when are you heading back?
I'm heading back on Monday, so I'll be back in Kentucky next episode.
Gotcha. Dope.
With my Tatum jersey.
Love to hear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll run it next
week. We can wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. We'll run it next week with more NHL news as we find
Actually, out. Before we close off, real quick. Sorry, I do want to bring up one more thing. Is that it has been just something that's been getting at me since the trade deadline, and I haven't talked about it on here yet. But the Miami Heat found a way to get Victor Oladipo on their team without having to give up anything of value. They still have Duncan Robinson. Because there were rumors that they're trying to go for maybe Kyle Lowry but he was going to take Duncan Robinson, or Tyler Hero's name was in the bunch for some guys too. But they got to hold on to Hero and Robinson. They bring in Oladipo. They still have Kendrick Nunn and Dragic and Jimmy Butler, and Precious Achiuwa is playing great. They have Bam, obviously.
Yeah.
What the hell, dude? That team is so nice.
I think, honestly, the two game again, I think the Hornets will be a tough game too, but I personally think with LaMelo's still injured, right? Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
I think yeah. So
done for the year.
That's what I thought. He's done for the year.
But I guess there's like a 1% chance I'm hearing now that he could maybe come back right at the end, but like probably.
Right, but I don't know. I think it's probably no by the time I think they're playing them soon, anyways. The Hornets, but I think the Heat are probably going to be one of the teams that they're low, but they're going to be our toughest matchup with after the trade deadline, the team they got.
Well, like if we do end up being in a 4-5 matchup, it'll probably be Miami Boston if we end up with the 4-5 seeds.
Oh yeah,
that's yeah.
I would love that because that's going to be a great thing to watch.
Team
but
look a whole lot scarier to me. I don't really know why, but it does.
I'll be honest with you. The Heat made it last season to the finals, obviously, but they're not a high seed right now, and they still have a fucking amazing lineup, and I'm still pretty scared to play them. I don't know about you boys. Another thing I got to mention.
Go ahead.
No. Go.
You go ahead, Jared.
I don't think there's a chance we make the finals this year. I'm calling it right now. I'm sorry.
I don't really. I don't think how dominant the top three teams in East Philly, Brooklyn, and Milwaukee are. Like, I don't think we get by them.
Also,
if we had a big guy, I'd be like, all right, there's a chance. But
yeah.
Danny Ainge decided to let the trade deadline pass while sitting there with a big old smile with our center roster being Time Lord, Luke Cornett, and Mo Wagner. So that's great. We do have Tristan Thompson.
Let me say also right now.
And actually, since TT's been back, we have been so much better. Tristan Thompson helps a lot. But anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. But
no, I just that's crazy, dude. Oladipo is another guy to clamp up your best player. I mean, he's just got unbelievable. He's another guy to clamp up and make buckets down the other end. Man, that's tough. But anyway.
Well, you want to say something before we close?
I was just gonna say, and this is a tough one for Boston. This is gonna hit you guys hard, but the Florida region, mainly obviously like the Tampa Bay, Miami areas, and then obviously LA. LA is not a surprise because the Lakers and the Dodgers are always going to be pretty good for the next couple of years, I feel like, and they've brought back championships to LA, but Tampa Bay, the Bucks won, Tampa Bay Lightning won, the Rays made it and gave the Dodgers a run for their money. And I mean, not Tampa Bay, but the Miami Heat made it to the playoffs the other season. So Florida is becoming a powerhouse in some of these areas. I think, obviously hockey and, with Tom Brady being the Bucks are the bigger ones, but still just want to mention that because I feel like it escapes some of us sometimes, but
the only reason the Bucks are good is because Brady's there. I'll say that right now.
And Titletown is in Boston. And we'll always be.
And I'm not saying it's not Titletown. We're still Titletown. But I'm just saying that it's just, it's a scary thought.
Every Bucks fan, as soon as Tom Brady leaves your team, you guys are ass. I don't care who you have on your team. So, and
you can cry me a fucking river.
We're just on our decline right now, but we'll be on our incline.
When the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
when the Tampa Bay for the Super Bowl this upcoming year. No cap.
When the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose Tom Brady, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, hey, you know what this is? This is the world's tiniest violin. I'm playing a nice sad song for you.
Saturday, April 10, 5:39. Patriots Super Bowl champions. You heard it here first. It'll forever be in this episode. I'll go back and find it.
We'll screenshot it and we'll end it there.
Sounds good, boys.
If you made it this far, you obviously like something. Please
just get a tattooed on your body.
And
it's been real, boys.
Boys, it's been a good episode. I'll talk to you later.
Peace.